Welcome to the Debt Payoff Planner app tutorial. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the simple steps of inputting your personal financial situation into the app and getting a customized plan on how you can go from where you are today to how you can become debt-free. Let's get started. To keep things simple, let's start off with a guest account. So a guest account doesn't require any login credentials and has quite a bit of the capability for being able to generate a simple plan. We'll come back later to create a full account, which has backups and you can access it across devices, change the currency, all that good stuff, again for free. But for now, let's just keep it simple. So we'll click on this button here, Explorer's Guest. So that takes us to our starting page. So the first thing the app is prompting us to do is to add our first loan. So let's get started with that. So when we click the button, it's going to ask us for our loan details. The thing that's highlighted here is the minimum amount of information you can put in to generate a plan. There's also some optional information down here that can make more enriched charts, or if you have a promotional APR, we'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, let's just go ahead and input some data. So let's say we have a Capital One credit card that has a starting balance of $2,000. So this is the amount on our statement that we owe. The minimum payment that's required by the credit card company is $75, and the interest rate, the annual percentage rate, is 20%, which is pretty typical for a credit card. So now this is optional information, but we're going to put it in anyway. So we'll just say that this kind of loan is a credit card. The payment due for this guy is the second of the month, every month. Anniversary and annual fee, I'm going to skip. But this is only one of the cards that we want to add. So I'm also going to go ahead and add a Toyota loan and a Discover card. And let me speed this up so you guys can see the end result. Okay, so now that all those accounts are input, we can see the debt-free date. So it's saying that we will be debt-free November of 2023 if we're only making minimum payments. However, the point of using Debt Payoff Planner isn't to make minimum payments. You're going to do that anyway. The point of the Debt Payoff Planner is to come up with a strategy to pay down faster. So to do that, let's say that we have another $200 a month that we can apply. So we do that here in the strategy section. And so now, in addition to the $425 that make up the minimum payments for these three accounts, we also are adding $200. So we have $625 a month being applied to pay off the debts. And so now it's gone from November to October of the year before. So we shaved off an entire year by paying an extra $200 a month. So that's some great progress. So now let's take a look at the plan. So as a side note, we're going to use the debt snowball first. And the debt snowball means start paying off the lowest balance first. In this case, that's the Discover card. So if we go down to the payoff plan, the payoff plan is broken up into different steps, where in that step, you do the same thing every single month. So for the first 4 months, you're going to pay the extra payment, that extra $200 on the Discover card, in addition to the $50 minimum payment that the Discover card already had. And then you're going to make minimum payments on the Capital One card and the Toyota loan. And then in the 5th month, you'll pay off the Discover card, so that'll be April, and then roll over the additional payments that you were going to pay onto the next lowest balance, again, because it's a debt snowball, which is the Capital One credit card. So $292.56 applied there, and still make the minimum payment on the Toyota loan. So you're going to do that for another 5 months, and then in the 6th month after that, which is October 2021, you pay off the Capital One card. In that case, you only have one loan left. And so you roll over all of that payment. So now you're paying the minimum payment plus the $200 from the Capital One and from the Discover card is now all being applied to paying off the Toyota loan as fast as possible. So a year after that, October 22, the Toyota loan is paid off and you are debt-free. And all of that is using the debt snowball method. So let's say we tried the debt avalanche. So with the debt avalanche method, we can go here to the payoff order and change it to avalanche. And so now it's going to prioritize the highest APR first. And the highest APR is the Capital One at 20%. So now you can see that instead of the Discover card being paid off first, it's the Capital One card. So we pay off the Capital One card for 7 months. And then on the 8th month, we pay it off and then roll over the payments to the Discover card, which has the next highest interest rate. Now remember, we paid off the first credit card in April if we were using the snowball method. If we're using the avalanche method, we're not paying off our first card until July. And that's really the difference between those two strategies. With the debt snowball method, you get the quick wins. With the debt avalanche method, you minimize the amount of interest that you're going to pay over the life of the loans. And how do we see that? Well, actually, in the payoff summary, it's going to tell us that explicitly. So in the avalanche method, for all of the loans, if we look at the total interest amount, it's $1,067.35. If we change this to the debt snowball method, just to experiment, it's $1,092. So, not really that much of a difference between those two strategies. But the payoff date is the same on both. So the snowball is October of 2022. And the avalanche method, let's scroll to the top, is also still October of 2022. So one of them saves a little bit of interest. One of them gets a quicker win. And it really comes down to what your preference is, how motivated you are about deciding which method is good for you. But the thing about the Debt Payoff Planner app is, you can play around with it, try different things. Another thing you could try is accelerating the payment even more. Let's say instead of $200 a month, you really, tighten your belt and go $400 a month. So now how quickly does this pay off? So instead of October of 2022, now it's down to April. And instead of paying $1,000 and $1,067 in interest, you're paying only $779 in interest on these cards. So, that's another strategy that can be pursued. One other thing to mention is, let's say you have a one-time payment, like a debt snowflake, what they call a debt snowflake. And it's basically like, let's say you get a tax return in March. Let's say the tax return is $1,000 and you're going to use that to pay down your debt. So you can go ahead and put that here in this debt snowflake area. So let's say March 15. Okay. And so now it's going to go ahead and use that to accelerate your plan as well. So that extra $1,000. So now instead of April of 2022, now you're down to March. So you shaved off another month. In addition to creating a payoff plan, many people like to use the Debt Payoff Planner to also track their progress. So the plan itself tells you what you need to be doing. So for example, right now we have the avalanche turned on. So the Capital One credit card is the first one to pay off. And we're going to pay $475 and then make minimum payments on the other two. So when you go ahead and make that payment, the Capital One credit card, you can come in here and in the payments made section, you can go ahead and input that payment. Now, when you pay a credit card, you want to be paying you want to be tracking the principal that's paid off, not the entire amount. So the payoff plan estimate, if we click this button, it'll automatically do the calculation to figure out how much of your payment is principal and how much is interest. If we click enter details directly, it'll show us exactly what that means. So for the $475, it's thinking that the credit card is assessing $33.33 in interest. So it's subtracting that from $475, and then that's roughly the principal paid off. You can always make it more accurate if you want to get the information from your credit card statement, but this should be pretty close. And so once you're done with that, go ahead and click save, and you've basically saved off the fact that you've made that payment. And let's go ahead and do that for the next two as well. So the Toyota loan, we're going to use the payoff plan estimate, which is the minimum payment, $300. Checks out. And same thing for the Discover card, we're also going to be doing the minimum payment. So the minimum payment there is $50. It's assessed $12.50 in interest. So the principal that's actually being paid down is $37.50. So after the first month, we've made all of these payments, and we're able to track it. So it shows the payoff progress here. So 22% of the Capital One credit card's already paid off, 2% of the Toyota loan, 4% of the Discover card. And then at the top here, once you start making some payments, you get this payoff progress section shows up. It shows the total amount that you've paid off. It shows the remaining balance that you have left to pay off, shows your progress as a percentage, and then also progress by category. So what we're trying to do is just keep you motivated to stay on this debt-free journey that you're on. And tracking the payoff progress like this in a simple way is a great way to do that. Okay, so lastly, I just want to show a couple of the other features of the app. So, we have some visualizations or some charts available. So you can look at the balance of each credit card that's getting paid down. So here you can see that the Capital One credit card is the one that's being paid down first. So it really rapidly goes down to zero. And then once it's paid off, that snowballs over to the next highest APR, which is this guy here, the Discover card. And so then the Discover card gets paid off next, and then all of that snowballs over here, and you can see where there's this inflection, and then it starts getting paid off a lot faster. So it's just a simple visualization of your debt-free journey. Also, you kind of have you see the same thing for each one of the individual cards. So the Capital One credit card, you're paying this off pretty fast. If you only to make minimum payments, this is what your balance would be. So those are some of the charts that are available. Additionally, there's some pie charts just kind of showing you the balance of the debt that's remaining to be paid off. And then also down at the bottom, there's some other resources. So, we've been pretty active on Instagram lately. We have several articles covering some of these topics, and basically we're just trying to inspire you. Trying to get out of debt is a difficult task. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so we're hoping to provide you as many resources as possible to help you on your way to become debt free. We have an FAQ if you have questions. If the FAQ doesn't answer any of that, you can always contact our support team. And then also, if you like the app or if this is helping you, we'd love a 5-star review. It helps us get the word out to other people. And if you think it's not worthy of a 5-star review, feel free to contact us and let us know what we're missing. Our goal here is to try to make your debt-free journey as easy as possible, as simple as possible by giving you simple tools. So with that, best of luck on your journey to become debt-free.